Okay, so as I mentioned, to many students, study in the UK is such a big decision to make in your life. It's not just a big investment in your time and your money, but it is also the investment to your future. So it is very natural that you would like the best return on your investment. Therefore, there is a lot to take into consideration. And study in a university could also be such an unforgettable experience, at least it's the case to me. It could be your last step before you go into the whole wide world. It could be your opportunity to meet so many friends and even the other half of your life. So therefore, here, sorry, I think, sorry, Jamie, I think I lost.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Louis,
sorry.
You can come back to.
Oh,
to
okay.
Yeah.
That looks okay. So
Great.
Here on this screen, we kind of listed a number of factors we think should be taken into consideration in terms of making your university choices. There is no particular order of these factors because, different people taking different measures. Things that matters to you most may not matter too much to the person beside you. However, to my perspective, there are always 3 E's should be the most, essential elements when you make up your choice on universities. They are education, employability, and experience. So what does this word mean? I'm going to give you a bit more details in the following slides. So the 3 things Loughborough also doing great about around education, experience, and employability, which I'll give you a bit more details in the following slides as well. Without a doubt, education, which means the reputation of the university and the teaching qualification, is the most essential factor in your decision-making process because this is your biggest return on the investment. But sometimes, if anyone listening to me now are from China, Vietnam, Kenya, another part of the world, it's quite a challenge for you to tell the quality of education of a university in the UK. And so I think that's why so many students always referring to the league table as their first reference, because the league tables, they are very useful. It gives very strong indicates on how well a university performed. But league tables could sometimes be very complicated as well, because first of all, there are so many of them. And secondly, they all work around, total different methodologies. So in the UK, there are 3 main league tables you should be referring to when you check the the ranking of the university. They are Times Higher Education, in short we call that THE, or Guardian, or Completely University Guide, in short we call that CUG. So here we put up a comparison table on the different method and the reference used by the different league tables. As you can tell from this table, Guardian, they give the most weight to student experience, because what's showing on the middle column of the table, NSS teaching, NSS assessment, they all means student experience. So Guardian gives the most weight to student experience. It's about 25%, more than 25% of weight. And Jamie,
yes.
could I ask a favor?
Sure, yeah.
I lost my box of chat again, so if you could keep an eye for me on there. If any very important question come up, please just stop me and just ask on behalf of the student. And if anything goes wrong on the screen, just let me know.
I will do. Okay.
So in summary, the Guardian plays more importance in student satisfaction. And the times, the THE, the left-hand column one, they are the only one of the three give the highest weight on research quality. And to my perspective, the one on the right-hand side, the CUG one, Complete University Guide, is the best balanced league table because they take all the aspects weighting in the other two, and their weighting on every factor is more averaging. So it is indeed, as told by its name, a completely university guide that you could refer to. So where does Loughborough sit in the three league tables? We are very proud to announce that we definitely very confidently sit in top 10 of all the domestic league tables in the UK. So the third star on the screen, there is a very interesting thing called the table of table, which brought out by the Times Higher Education. They kind of just mix all the elements on the three tables and then bring out something called the table of table, where they only rank the top 30 universities in the UK. And on that table of table, Loughborough ranked at the 6th, which is very high. And we are also very proud to be the University of the Year in 2019, awarded by Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. It is also worth to mention Loughborough University is the only university who's been awarded the University of the Year twice in both 2018 and 2019. Besides the domestic league table, Loughborough also is an elite university which ranks quite nicely on the QS World Ranking League table in the subject areas such as sports, art, design, and so on and so forth. I'm going to give you a bit more information on there later. Another factor I'd like to mention about the league table is, in the UK, some universities, they are very, very strong in research, such as Oxbridge or LSE, but they might be less focused on the teaching part. Well, on the other hand, some other universities, they might be very strong in teaching, but it is rare to have someone strong in both. And luckily, Loughborough is in that position. We were the only 3 universities who both ranked top 10 in Research Excellence Framework and got the Gold Quality in Teaching Excellence Framework. Apart from Loughborough, the other 2 are Durham and Cambridge. That kind of shows, the peer university we have. I'm sure by far you've kind of quite interested in Loughborough. So let's take a little bit break and take a step back, talk about a little bit more about where we are and how we got our name, a bit history of Loughborough University. So at the moment, Loughborough University got 2 campuses. The major campus we have is in Loughborough, which is in the heart of England. It's a really, really nice market town, very close to Leicester and Nottingham, and not far at all to London. We also have a campus on London, but the London campus, which launched in 2015, is a postgraduate only campus. So for any student who come in to study undergraduate course with us, Loughborough campus is your choice. And for students who come in to do masters and PhD with us, you have a variety of choices on both campuses. As I said, we are not at all far from London. And so if you take a train from Loughborough, there are 2 options. The fast train takes just over an hour, it's an hour and 10 minutes from Loughborough to King's Cross, one of the central stations in London, or a slower one takes about 1 hour and 1.5 hours. And so Loughborough is also very well connected to the nearby big cities, such as Leicester, which only takes 10 minutes by train, and Nottingham usually is 15 minutes by train. And so it's very well connected to big cities in England. A bit history about Loughborough. So at the university, Loughborough was founded in 1909. This is actually what it looked like in 1909. So over 100 years ago, it's just basically 2 buildings in a vast land. And now, through over 100 years of development, Loughborough has brought itself to a really, really pretty state-of-art facility campus. And it is also one of the largest single-site campus in the UK. I'm not sure if you could still identify the 2 buildings, which is kind of in the center to the right in this picture. Oh, hello, Jimmy. Hello? Hello, Jamie.
Yep. Hi there.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Because I suddenly, the sign showing on my screen said that the internet connect is not stable, so I'm not sure if you lost me or.
No, it's pretty clear from my end.
Okay,
how
that's
about
brilliant.
questions? Can you hear us okay, guys? If you let us know in the chat if it's clear or not, that would be great. Yeah, thank you.
So when Loughborough started as a university more than 100 years ago, it sort of born with the same generation as Bath, Warwick, Kent, and Surrey. And we started as a technical and engineering-based university. And in 1966, it was officially named as Loughborough University, which is also the first technology-based university in the whole UK. So the university has a history in science and technology, but soon it expanded into a multidisciplinary excellence. In terms of, how big we are, obviously, as you can see on this map, from the very left-hand side to the very right-hand side, it's all belong to the university. So size-wisely, we are very big. Like I said, one of the largest single-size campus university in the UK. But in terms of student body, we are a middle-sized university in the UK. At the moment, we have about 18,000 students studying in Loughborough on both campuses, and among which about 3,000 to 4,000 are international students. Okay, so in Loughborough, the university is structured into 10 different schools. It's structured depending on the resources and facilities. But the important message I'd like to give is there are lots of cross-discipline, programs offered on the campus, and you can have the chance to work on cross-discipline projects on research, which offered by more than 1 schools here. And so in terms of the subject ranking, I mentioned very briefly that we did very well on the QS World Ranking. We have altogether 6 subject areas ranked as top 50 in the world, and among which the building, which is ranked number 2 in the UK and top 50 in the world, art and design, currently at the 28th places in the world, and also business and economics. It's top 10 in the UK for all subjects, and one of the top 1% business school in the world. And above all, if you have heard Loughborough's name before, you should know that we are very, very well known for sports science. So sports science wisely, we rank number 1 in the world. So for the students who are listening to me now, who might be very good at math, you might find out that I said that we structured into 10 schools and departments, but there are only 9 showing on these slides. Well, the reason is that the 10th one, as you can see now, is our Loughborough London campus. So Loughborough London campus on its own, it has a variety of disciplines offered there, and most of those programs are cross-disciplinary and offer a very hands-on experience towarding the job market. So that's quite different from what's offered on the main campus, which I'm going to talk a bit more details later.
Lou, could I ask, we have a question from Win in the chat, who he says, I have a question. Does Loughborough University have scholarships for international students?
Yes, we do. I have a slide for that. So I'm going to come to that point later, if that's all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks.
So besides the academic excellence, Loughborough also boasts a very strong reputation in student experience. It was rated as UK's best student experience in the last decades, which means it has won the champion of like best student experience UK university most of times compared to other universities. But by now you may have a question that what exactly does this experience means? Well, it could mean the campus facility, including library you are using or the accommodation you're living in. It could be the support you receive as an international student regarding your health, your welfare, regarding religious, and it could be, you know, the extra curriculum activities you could enjoy outside your study. So in summary, I think it means everything around your study itself, everything around your academic life. I know that as an overseas student, often student experience is overlooked because, you know, it's just not that straightforward to think about experience while you are making university choice from the other side. However, it does actually play such an important role, you know, because apart from your study, your well-being and your financial situations and whether you could get enough support around those issues, it will affect your study. It does matter a lot. So why Loughborough is so strong in student experience? Well, our university did a lot of right things in terms of student experience, but I think why we are so strong in that mainly benefited from three areas. The first and the biggest factor, to my point of view, that contributed to student experience is we have such a lovely campus. I'm not sure if you did any research on, you know, UK universities, but it is indeed that some universities have such a single site campus, because lots of the universities in the UK, they are city-based. They don't even have a campus. Like where I stayed many years ago, I did my degree in education in Edinburgh University, which is a fantastic university. But because Edinburgh is a heritage city, so you can't really build up anything new or tear down any old buildings in the city. Therefore, Edinburgh University, it doesn't have a campus. So for me, it's kind of lack of the experience that I can really engage with students who study in the same university. We basically just go on to our classes and then go home afterwards. In Loughborough, it's a totally different scenario. Loughborough ranks #1 at the moment for campus facilities, including library, accommodation, and the rest. It's such a pretty campus that offers a safe, convenient, and very friendly community atmosphere, which is so important, especially if you are an international student and looking to make new friends in a new country. I mentioned in a previous slides that we are a medium-sized university. At the moment, we have about 18,000 students, and among which about just 3,000 to 4,000 are international students from more than 150 different countries. So it is a very, very international campus. And also here we provided a dedicated support to international students on this campus, such as we have the GP. Not sure if you know GP. GP is kind of like your doctors that you have, your family doctors that you have in the UK while you're studying. So every student should register for a GP while they're studying with us. So we have the GP on campus. We also have like the bank, lots of restaurants, lots of cafe, nice areas, open space on the campus. It is also worth mentioning that we even have like a dedicated mental health team, because nowadays study could be quite, pressurous for students, especially if English is your second language. So if you really experience any anxiety or you feel very under pressure, there is a team here to support you. There's people you can talk to and help you to deal with those issues. And also another element to mention is that we have a very, very lovely student union. So on this previous slides, it shows that we have more than 130 societies with our student union. And so basically anything you're interested in, you can find the people interested in the same. We even have a Quidditch ball from Harry Potter society on the campus. So in the spring, you can often see people put on like a hoop on the grassland, on the lawn, and they just kind of running about with their brooms, which is quite funny to watch. So yeah, it's very dynamic campus here, and we have the last but not least elements that contribute to the experiences. Loughborough is a very sporty university, and sports is definitely written in our genes. And you know, my own experience told me that if you're interested in any kind of sport, you don't have to be a professional. You could be, you know, you just want to play that for fun. It's definitely is the best way when you enter like a new environment and to make friends. If you just go to, you know, any sport pitch to play, all of a sudden you are surrounded by people who are interested in the same thing. And all of a sudden you have something in common with you know, the rest of the student groups, and you can make friends. So as you can see, what's shown on this slide, Loughborough is very strong in sports in three aspects. So first of all, we are #1 in terms of sports science and sports research. So since the QS World Ranking had the subject ranking, we've actually always ranked in #1 in the subject. And secondly, our students do play very well in sports. In the British University and College sports, which is called BUCS, the competition, we've been champion for 40 years. And guess how long this competition has been running? 40 years. So Loughborough has been a champion from the very beginning to today. And also on this campus, we have so many professional, you know, elite athletes training as well as students. In the last Olympic game in Rio, we kind of calculated if Loughborough University is a country, we would rank the 17th on the global medal league table. Isn't that amazing? So here we have brought out some well-known names in sports, such as Sebastian Coe, who is also our chancellor at the moment, Paula Radcliffe, and in Rio, the Olympic gold medalist Adam Peaty. They've all been studied and trained in Loughborough. So if you come in to study with us, you will have the chance to enjoy the sports side, and you will have the chance to engage with the best people in that area. So in terms of the sports facility, it's just really, it's like one of the best around the world, from recreational to elite athletes level. Here I kind of put together a list of this is just some of the facilities we have, not all of the facilities. So on the campus, we have the country's largest concentration of the world-class training facility and support service across a wide range of sports. We have the indoor athlete center, we have an outdoor stadium, and we have a 50-meter Olympic swimming pool. And we also have 2 gym center. We have a strength and conditioning gym. We have lots of studio spaces. We have the National Cricket Performance Center. So indeed, whether you are so interested in sports that you want to be a professional in any of the area, or whether you just play sports for fun, there always been something you want to try here, and we offer the support around that. So I think that's a strong reason why we are so well known for student experience, because if you come into Loughborough, we not just educated your mind, we educated your mind and your body together. And also we have so many to offer around the sports, around the sports, such as we have the lots of like large organizations in this area, such as Adidas, Nike, or any big names you know. They provide so many research projects for Loughborough students, not just limit to students who study sports, but also to students to all disciplines. For example, if you study marketing, you could get a very good opportunity to do an internship in one of the big names in sports. If you're doing material science, the football used by the World Cup is designed and actually manufactured here in Loughborough. So you could have a chance to, take a part in that project, which is pretty amazing. All right. So now we've talked about the 2 E's out of the 3, which is education excellence and also student experience. And from here, I'm also going to talk the last E, which is employability. So in addition to the academic excellence, student experience, we also have a very strong support around the employability. As we printed on our prospectus for students, we say that when it comes to employability, Loughborough University's graduates are in a league of their own. Why is that? As you can see from this slide here, we can guarantee you 94% of our graduates got a job straight away in 6 months after they graduated. And they not just got a job, they got a very decent job. According to the stats, more than 90% of our graduates got the graduate level job. And also in terms of the salary, we are one of the best ranked university with a graduate salary in the whole country. And I'd like to take a bit more time to talk about this last bit mentioned on these slides, which is about the QS ranking in employability. Sorry, let me just quickly took a sip of water, if that's all right.
No problem.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few questions here in the Q&A, Lou. So yeah, just to say, like, after your presentation, we can spend a bit of time to discuss the questions. So yeah, excellent, great. And yeah, guys, if you do have any more questions, I can see them coming in the chat. If you could put them into the Q&A as well, that will help us keep them all in the same place for after the presentation. Okay, so thank you. Thanks for that, Kulan. Thanks for that, Win, as well. We'll discuss those questions in a moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Jamie. Oh, now I come back. And so, like I said, I'd like to talk a bit more about the QS employability ranking, which is the last point on this slide. This ranking itself launched in 2018, and for the first time, it kind of considered more than 1,200 universities around the world, and in terms of how well they support their graduates in employability. And among those more than 1,200 universities around the world, Loughborough ranked 39 in this ranking. And the primary aim of this ranking is to help students make informed choices of their educational future based specifically on the ability of the chosen university to help them succeed in the employability market. So in this ranking itself, it judges university from 5 key criteria, which are employer reputation, partnership with employer, alumni outcomes, employer's presence on campus, and the graduate employment rate. As you can see, Loughborough ranked, worldwide 39, which is also one of the highest in the UK universities, showed that we gave a well-rounded support to students in that. For example, we hold the largest graduate career fairs here on Loughborough campus. It's the largest defined by the number of exhibitors coming to this fair and the number of job offers students were made subsequently after this fair. So we've done this for this year, the 8th year for now, the UK's largest graduate career fair on the Loughborough campus. And last year we have over 250 exhibitors coming to the fair to meet and talk to our students. And here also listed some of the names of companies we work very closely with. We have graduates working in those companies. And actually, if you join to Loughborough, the support to your career starts from the moment when you register as a new student. We designed an app called the Loughborough Connect. So on that app, we kind of link you, the new student, with alumni who working in one of those big name companies, and they can give you some personal tutorial and guidance in terms of how you prepare your CV, how you just get all the documents ready, and what kind of candidates they would look for when they recruit. And our career support team will offer you a lot of like individual support, such as how to polish your CV. They even give you mock interview before you went to the real job interviews, and so that you're well prepared with your mind ready to work after you graduate. So I'm sure by far after my introduction about Loughborough on the education, on the employability, and on experience, you might be quite interested. I hope you'll be interested in Loughborough now. And so next, so here is a summary I put together for the information I just mentioned for you to remember, because you know I've talked a lot. I hope you still remember the things I said before. We have the largest career fair on campus, top 10 on the UK league table, and also very strong in the world ranking league table, those sort of things. And so if you're interested in coming to Loughborough, here is the study areas that you could choose. And unfortunately, we don't offer law. We don't have a law school, so we don't offer any degree in law. And we don't have a medical school, so we can't offer any degree in medical science or medicine on Loughborough. We offer pretty much everything else. So out of the 16 subject areas we offer, out of the 20 subject areas we offer, we have 16 subject areas ranked the top 10 in the UK. So my point is, if any of these areas you'd be interested, you definitely choose the right place to study. For any student who might be interested in engineering, so this is like a brief introduction on the engineering school. So these courses are within our Wolfson School of Engineering. Apart from this engineering school, we also offer programs in terms of chemical engineering. So that's aside from this school. And on the bottom of this slide, you can see different subject areas in engineering. We all ranked very well. So if you have just to let you know that BEng means your degree is called a Bachelor of Engineering. MEng means often in a British university, you could choose to study integrated master for 4 years after your undergraduate and towards a master in engineering qualification. And if you have done your undergraduate study somewhere else, you're more than welcome to join Loughborough for the master study on its own. So here are a list of some of the most popular engineering programs offered by Loughborough. Besides engineering, we're also very strong in the business school. I'm not sure about today, but my past experiences, when students are choosing to study master degrees, business is one of the most popular areas. So that's why I put it here for more details for students. So in the UK, when we look at a business school, there is something we call a triple accredited, which also taken as a golden standard to tell how good is a business school. And so as you can see from the right side of this picture, Loughborough is one of the MBA triple accredited business school. It is one of the only 16 business school that got this triple accredited in the whole UK. And so in terms of the program we offer a wide range of programs, from accounting finance to information management to marketing and to economics. So here is a list of the undergraduate programs, and here is a list of the postgraduate programs. And to answer the question Jamie raised from Wing, so we do offer a scholarship. We actually offer quite a lot of scholarship to students. And the easiest one would be an automatic scholarship based on your academic achievements. So this one is called the International Academic Excellence Scholarship. This scholarship, you don't have to apply. If you hit the bar, for example, if you apply for the business school and you got for one of the masters, if you got upper second degree from the UK or equivalence from any international qualification, you will automatically get 10% of your tuition as scholarship. If you got a first class degree in the UK or the equivalence from overseas, you automatically get 20% tuition as scholarship. Okay. So here's the list of the master programs. It is quite special in our School of Business that we offer a suite of conversion programs to students who haven't studied the business or relevant knowledge in business before, which is showed on the left-hand side column. So typically, if you studied engineering or any other programs, and if you wish to have more knowledge in management or marketing, you're more than welcome to join this suite of conversion programs designed typically for you. And if students have studied business before, and we have on the right-hand side what we call a suite of specialized masters designed for you. So if you have this background, you can have a progressed study with us. And apart from engineering business, of course, our sports-related courses are so popular because it is, #1 in the world, and it does offer you a very, very unique experience in terms of the study, research, and the facilities and the sporty experience you can have around that. So here is like a list of programs we offered under the sports science and health science. Besides, sorry, I'm not talking because of time limit. I can't talk through every academic schools one by one. So I'm only kind of cherry pick the most, popular areas to my perspective. If you have any questions regarding to any other subject area, you're very welcome to ask them after this presentation. So apart from the undergraduate and postgraduate, we also offer a foundation to those students who kind of at the moment study in your own country, but the school system is not directly linked to the British school system. So for example, if you are in international schools, you might study A-level or AP, and those are the qualifications we can accept directly into our undergraduate study. However, if you are studying in a state school in your own country, you need to do 1 year foundation before you go on to the bachelor's degree with us. So here is the foundation program that we offer. Also, like I mentioned, we have a postgraduate only campus in London, and it is in a quite central area of London, only 6 minutes by the Javelin train from St. Pancras, which is kind of the same as King's Cross Station, to where our campus is. It is also part of the Olympic legacy after the last Olympic game happening in London. On the London campus, we have 7 different subject areas. As you can tell straight away from the name, they are like quite new and innovative areas compared to the traditional academic study in those areas. So if you look to the difference of the program setting, on the main campus, you'll be exposed to a more traditional module list of this subject area, whereas in London is more like a cross-discipline study. Also, it is worth to mention that every single programs offered by London campus have a compulsory practical project as a module, which means you will be working with your classmates and with a real business, with a real company from the business world. And this company will give you a business proposal to accomplish, and they will give you a mark. So our student feedback is, this is so helpful because this gives them a real taste from the employee, from an employer. So make them understand, what the employer is really looking for, and they can then set their career ambitions around it. So in terms of the tuition fee, in Loughborough, undergraduate wisely, it depends on the subject area you study. If you study a non-lab based, so basically if you study art or business, your tuition fee is less than 20,000 a year. But if you study something lab based, which means you'll be using more lab facilities, which is mainly in the science and engineering part, the tuition fee is more expensive. It's about 23,000 for undergraduate and about the same for postgraduate. But in London campus, it's a little bit more because it's in London. The cost of running the program is higher as well. And in terms of scholarship, here is the scholarship scheme we offered across the 2 campuses. So no matter you are studying on the Loughborough campus or in the London campus, you get the chance to have this. The scholarship showing on this slide, they are the automatic scholarships based on students' academic achievements. Apart from these, we do have a very long list of other scholarships based on the competition basis, which means you need to apply for them. So if you go on to the Loughborough University's website and search scholarship, you will see the whole list of scholarships listed there, and then you can apply more than one. And I think the university's policy that we don't limit a student to apply for multiple scholarships, but you can only be given the highest awards. Okay, so for international students, we also offer a Pre-Sessional English. Our direct entry to both undergraduate and postgraduate is 6.5 in IELTS or equivalent in other tests with no elements under 6. So if you haven't got that level yet, don't worry, you're more than welcome to join the Pre-Sessional English, where we can support you with the academic writing in particular and maybe presentation skills. I'm not sure if you still remember, I mentioned very briefly that our accommodation as part of the campus facility ranks very high among the UK universities. Actually, we were awarded as the best student accommodation in last year's league table brought out by What's Uni and Times Higher Education. And what's quite special about Loughborough is if you're coming to do an undergraduate degree, do your bachelor's degree, you can be guaranteed for 2 years accommodation on campus as an international student. Most UK universities would only guarantee international students for 1 year to stay on the campus. So I think it's really beneficial that if you come into Loughborough, you can stay on the campus for 2 years. Even if you're not to stay on the campus, Loughborough on its own is a very safe place to stay. And actually, 25% of the local residents are the university staff and students. So basically, this is a university town which provides a very nice environment to study and to live. All right. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope it does give you a flavor on how to choose a university. And I hope that does give you the interest to choose Loughborough. And I hope that I could see some of you or maybe many of you after, in the coming September. And I'm now put it back on my on the video part because I finished on the presentation. I feel like I talked a lot. So yeah, so if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take on them.
So thank you very much, Lou, for the presentation. That was very informative. Thank you. There has been a lot of questions actually.
Oh, great.
And a lot of them are now over in the Q&A. So maybe take a look at some of them first.
Okay.
Pat had a question here.
Do I need to type in the answer? It might be quicker if I just answer them.
Yeah, absolutely. You can
so if I
answer by speaking will be
answer live.
Right.
So
yeah.
Okay.
So if you like, I can read them out for you.
No, it's okay. I'm answering the first one. Does this university offer food science course? We don't actually have a specific course, food science course, but you can come in here to do bioscience and bioengineering, which I believe is quite tightly related to food science. But we don't have a food science on its own, I'm afraid. Yeah, is that clear?
Good. Thank you. Very clear for me.
Okay, brilliant. So, and the second question, is there any course about the diplomatic? Depending on the level. So undergraduate level, you are very welcome to do international relation. You can do international politics, which is very much related to diplomatic. And if postgraduate wisely, we have a lot of courses offered on London campus, such as international diplomacy, business and trade, such as international diplomacy and global governance. So it depends on your level, but yes, we do offer diplomatic related courses on undergraduate and postgraduate levels. The next one, tell us some remarkable research and innovation history of this research of this university, if have. Okay, and I didn't get the time to talk details about, there is on one of my slides, I said we've been awarded the 7 times Queen's Anniversary Prize. So this Queen's Anniversary Prize is the highest prize in higher education in the UK that's given to the university who kind of have a very remarkable research achievement, or they have done something to kind of very, very beneficial for the whole society's development. We've won that prize for 7 times, which is which is the second most in the UK. Only Oxford got 9, so only Oxford got more than us. I think instead of giving you a whole long list of the remarkable achievements in research, because there are too much, and so just based on we have 7 times Queen's Anniversary Prize, showed that how strong we are in terms of research and innovation. Okay, and next one, is there any scholarship? I think I answered that. I think I answered this one in my slides. Like I said, you are very welcome to go onto the university's website, and if you search scholarship, you will see a whole list. And we do have country-specific scholarship, such as for students from Africa, we have the Africa specific, a few scholarship specifically for Africa students. So you can choose from there the best suitable one for you to apply. How hard to get them? It's really depend on, you know, your individual, but it will be more based on your academic achievement. So like I said, for any student who achieved the first class, they can automatically get a 20% tuition discount as scholarship. So yeah, so that's the answer of this question. You said Loughborough is the #1 university. No, I'm not. Sorry, I can't see the full, the complete text of this question. So
they had a couple of related questions.
okay.
I think I think they're interested to know where in the rankings.
Oh, okay. Can you still see my screen now? So for the slides.
Yep, we can see. It's not full screen, but we can.
Yeah, you can see that. Okay, okay. So to answer this question, I'm not saying Loughborough in the general ranking as a #1 because indeed we are not yet. So, but as I said, there are 3 major league tables: Times, CUG, and Guardian in the UK. And on those league tables, what I just mentioned here, that we are definitely one of the elite universities who sit as top 10 on these league tables. I think what I mentioned as #1 is in terms of sports science and sports research in that subject area. If you do some research around the global ranking or UK domestic ranking, Loughborough is #1 in that subject area. And in general, we are top 10 in the UK. Yeah. Okay. I'm Jiva from State. I need to use computer science. Great. I'm not able to find more information of accelerated computer science course detailed on the City Business School with the video analysis course. Now I have experience of 7 years. So Jiva, thanks for your question. I'm not very sure what do you mean by accelerated degree. If you mean a degree that is less than 3 years, less than the full degree length, unfortunately, we don't offer such short-term degree in Loughborough. I know some other universities in the UK, they have something called a top-up degree, which will allow you to work towards a UK British undergraduate qualification after 1 year rather than 3 years study. But just unfortunately, we don't have that offered in Loughborough. And so if that's what you mean, and if you go on to one of the top-up degrees offered by another British university, and then you are more than welcome to join Loughborough for the master's study. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
I think that was very clear. Thanks. Yeah.
Where is? Sorry, oh, okay. So where am I?
Let's see. Can you see the Q&A?
Yeah. I'm okay. I can see. Sorry. Does there have any fully funded engineering? Okay. Yes, but I don't think we have any fully funded scholarship on undergraduate and master's level. The highest level we can go if you are coming to do a bachelor's degree is 25%, and on master is 20%. We do have like a fully funded PhD studies. Since you haven't mentioned what level you're looking for. So for PhD studies, if you go on again to the university's website and search PhD or search research degree, and you will see very clearly on that webpage, we have a column of self-funded PhD and we have a column of funded PhD. And under the funded PhD, which means they provided full funding or part funding, and then you can select the right course for you from there. The next one is not a question. Someone very nicely put 10 years of working experience in FMCG.
Yes, I think that's Pachu. He's interested in the MBA course.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Oh, yeah. I saw the next question.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Petru, the next question from you. And so, the MBA course, we do take because we are a triple accredited MBA course, so work experience is an essential of entry criteria, and you got 10 years experience, which is amazing. But apart from experience, we also look at your academic performance. So you would need to have a first degree before you come in to join the MBA course. So if you have your first degree, and if you apply online, and if you submit your CV as well as your academic performance, I think you get a good chance to be accepted by the MBA.
Mm-hmm.
It's another question from Pachu. So the MBA course is whether you're accepted by the MBA is mainly based on your academic and your work experience. It doesn't matter if you have IELTS 5.5 or even lower, because we do offer the pre-session language support. So for 5.5, you can join our course C, which is 11 weeks length Pre-Sessional English course. And then after the course, you don't have to retake IELTS. You can just progress onto the MBA study.
Oh, great.
Can I apply? If you apply for the bachelor's degree, you are more than welcome to come in to apply with A-level or with foundation. We accept both. However, it might be easier if you go to A-level, because our entry requirement to A-level is very straightforward. It doesn't matter whether you studied the A-level in the UK or in your own country, as long as it's the A-level qualification, will take you from there. But foundation-wisely, we look at it on an individual case-by-case basis. So if, like, for example, if you do Loughborough Foundation, you kind of have a better progression rate. But if you do a foundation with another provider, we probably need to check the quality of the provider before we can offer you a place. Okay. MSc in, yes, we have a master. I'm not answering the question from Mustak.
Yeah.
Can you see which question I'm answering? Okay,
I can. I don't think the students can, Lou. So if you could say, you know, this question is from Mustak.
Okay.
That will help them to know whose question.
Okay. Thank you. So this question is from Mustak. Don't LU provide MSc in Triple E in the place of MENG? It's different. So if you have done an undergraduate degree with Loughborough, you could choose the MENG straight away. So it's an embedded 4-year master's program with undergraduate program. But if you have done a undergraduate degree from somewhere else, not in Loughborough, and then you should choose the program you should choose is Master in Science, so MSc in Triple E. It's just like the course title is different. It's just because based on the different course settings, but they are on the same level. Yep.
Awesome.
So.
Lou, I'm just thinking we are coming up to the end of the session, so maybe we can take 1 or 2 more questions if you have time, and then we can wrap up. Yeah.
Sure. I'm really grateful. I think students ask very, very good questions here. So I'm going to take another 2. So I'm going to take this question from Shirin, and who asked how many students are using the system of mental counseling. Actually, not that many. we won't give you such a big pressure. So typically, from what I know, that typically every academic year we have a few like individual cases. But what I'm saying is, not just the mental counseling, but on Loughborough's campus, we provide a very good support and service for international students. And we understand that for international students, the difficulty you are facing, whether it's in terms of language, whether it's in terms of cultural shock, we understand that, and there is a support system around that. So don't worry too much. Most of the students will be fine. They graduate just fine with us. Yeah. Okay. So the last question I'm going to take is. Oh, okay. What is the main focus on computer science research? Yes, we have image processing, and we also very strong in the artificial intelligence. And as I said, we also have a lot of cross-discipline, because computer science in many cases also used as a tool rather than on its own in terms of research. So for this question, and if student got any other question in terms of any specific research area, the best thing to do is if you go onto the university's website and then you click department and school, which then will take you to the department where it's offer this program. And on the departmental webpage, there is a whole section about research, which illustrates the current research project ongoing with this department. So it will give you a very good idea of what research topic you can choose if you're coming to study with us. Yeah, I think that's pretty much from my side.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lou, for the presentation and for fielding these questions. So yeah, it's been really great. Thank you guys as well for joining us and for asking some really good questions there as well. Thank you for joining us.
And Jamie, I'm not sure, so after today, if any student interested in us or would like to ask more questions, could they pass it on to you and then you let me know, or what's the best way for them?
Absolutely. I mean, if you'd like to share your email.
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I type it here.
Sure. Excellent.
So thank you very much, guys, for listening and today. So here is my contact email. So if you have any further questions, by all means, you can drop me an email. And thank you very much, Jamie, for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you. And yeah, thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Lou. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.